What's going on, y'all? It's Kid Billionaire B. Yo, it's been a while since we have done a whiteboard video. I know y'all have really been loving the venue walkthroughs that we've been doing with all our clients, but I feel like it's important to kind of go through the basics and fundamentals. I know a lot of times y'all hear me talking to our clients about different business management tips, tricks, things of that nature, but a lot of times it's good to get it in like an organized format. So wanted to bring back a few more of these whiteboard videos just so we could really be on the same page, understand a lot of what we're talking about in those client walkthrough videos, just so it makes a lot more sense. So, let's get this to the side over there. Find your event space in less than 72 hours. So I actually made a video like this a few months ago. And it got some pretty good traction. So I wanted to kind of bring it back with just like a new feel, new taste, pause. And just kind of bring it back to the basics, show you guys basically exactly how the behind the curtains of how we're able to get our clients venues in 20, 30, 40 days from the time they actually get onboarded into Event Space Elite's program. So the number one acronym that I want to use for this, for finding your event space in less than 72 hours, is PVP. Prep, volume, prep. And yes, prep is repeated twice, and you're going to see exactly why. The biggest thing when it comes down to finding event space is that a lot of times you got to understand landlords don't want this type of business, or landlords don't want to negotiate, or they just don't want to rent to a new business owner, such as yourself. So a lot of times we have to come and showcase a certain level of preparation just so we can kind of get the leg up. So what do I mean by that? First one is prep. Now, when you are getting into your event space business, there are certain documents and things like that that you're going to need to have ready, just to really show that you are prepared. For example, number one, you want to have a business plan, right? You want to actually show that you've done some market research. So that business plan might include like a market comp analysis, competitive analysis, I'll just say compete analysis, LLC structure, business partners, might show LLC structure, business partners. We'll show a marketing plan, 5 or 10 year sales forecast. So typically a business plan like this will be about maybe 18 to 25 pages. And it'll basically outline everything from like executive summary, marketing plan, market comp analysis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, so that the business owner, not the business owner, but the landlord, the building owner, knows that you've done your research. And anybody who's in Event Space Elites, we actually already have a business plan done for you, customized completely for event spaces, which includes all this stuff, and it's in your roadmap, in your 7-stage roadmap, so you already know about that. So, but the number one thing is you do want to have a business plan and you want to have that prep work. The number two thing is obviously financing. So you want to have your financing in place. Typically, whenever you are getting into an event space, you're going to look for at least 1 to 2 months rent, 1 to 2 months security. If you're lucky, it'll be a little bit less. But in bigger cities like New York, Houston, Miami, LA, they're typically going to want a little bit more just because the competition is there. Landlords are a little bit more savvy. Real estate's a lot more expensive. So with that being said, you definitely want to have your financing in place. And like I said, typically you're going to want to have 1 to 2 months security, 1 to 2 months rent, and you're gonna wanna have some liquidity, some cash flow for those first few months. So you might even wanna have, let's say 4 to 6 months of rent. Now I know that's not feasible for everybody, but landlords do like to see that. Now, will there be landlords who will be like, okay with you not having that? Absolutely, 100%. I've had landlords who didn't even check my bank account. It's fine. But I'm just saying, like, across the board, if you want to be safe, these are the things that you're typically going to want to look at, right? Overall, typically, we like to have our clients at Event Space Elites have between $30,000 and $50,000 ready to go for the event space business. And that's between moving costs, build-out costs, and furniture. So that's a big thing. All right, I'm gonna put that right here. Move-in costs, build-out costs, furniture. 100%. So, third thing, let me see where I could put this. Put it over here. Put that right here. Third thing, identification. This one's pretty simple. Identification. Forgot how to spell for a second. This one's pretty simple. ID, social security number, card, bank account, things of that nature. Simple identification, verification stuff. Super simple stuff like that. Just have it ready, put it in a nice little folder. It makes their lives a lot easier. You can put it with the business plan. One of the biggest things that whenever I look at venues that I like to do is I put together everything in a nice little folder, like I said, hand it over to them. It just looks like you're a lot more prepared, hence prep. So do it like that. You're gonna get a lot more yeses, a lot less nos. Number 2, volume. I didn't like that. Here we go. Boom. Number 2, volume. Now, the number one thing that puts Event Space Elites across the board better than a lot of other consulting companies or whatever the case may be is that we understand the essence of sheer volume, right? If I want to get an event space tomorrow, it's simple. I need to call a lot of fucking venues. So what we do in Event Space Elites is that whenever somebody's onboarded, we actually call 500 to 700 locations per day just to send them pre-approved locations. So what that basically looks like is that if you are in Phoenix, Arizona, we will call every single building in Phoenix, Arizona within about a 20-mile radius just to get the ones that are pre-approved for event space for you. So all those landlords that said no, you will never even hear about that because you're gonna hear only about the pre-approved ones from us. The ones that say, hey, look, listen, this event space is good to go, boom. And it's perfect for our clients. We actually require them to see all these different locations because 1, a lot of times what's gonna happen, the pictures look different from in person. And then 2, a lot of times what happens is that space might not work out for you. We might send you space 123 Main Street. However, 456 Main Street isn't even on the market yet, but that realtor could get you in touch with them. But you would have never known that unless you went and met up with that realtor. And that's a really big thing, right? So, volume. Like I said, we're typically looking at 500 to 700 locations per day. I definitely spelled locations wrong. Locations per day. And then our clients are usually looking at about 5 to 10 per week. Not called, looking at, like they're going and physically seeing these locations. 5 to 10 per week, right? So if you're looking at 5, so my memory card got full. Y'all know how it is. Anyway, let's pick it up from where we were. So volume, 500 to 700 locations a day we are calling just to send pre-approved locations to our clients. Number 2, these clients, we're making them like as in you must see 5 to 10 locations per week in your agreement. You have to see 5 to 10 locations a week. Why? Because 2 things are gonna happen. Number 1, a lot of times people see pictures of these spaces and they're just like, oh, that one's too small, that one doesn't look like this, that one doesn't look like that. And then you go and see it in person and it looks way different. You wanna give all these different spaces a chance. And not only that, number 2, every single realtor has their own inventory. So what's gonna happen is that you might see a location, 123 Main Street, but that same realtor has 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8 non-Main Street. So if you don't go and see that location, you'll never get the opportunity to go and see other spaces unless they reach out to you. Why give yourself that disadvantage, right? So if they're seeing 5 to 10 per week, they're on average seeing 20 to 40 locations a month. 20 to 40 locations per month. Seeing that sheer volume makes a huge difference because if you're seeing 20, 40 locations a month and say, for example, 90% of them work out, you only need 1 to work out. 10 of these could drop off the face of the earth. 10 of these could decline your LOI. 10 of these could just be not a good space. You still have 10. It's sheer volume. It's that simple. It's just sheer volume. But a lot of people aren't prepared to do the work. And not only that, a lot of people don't have the time, which is why so many people come to Event Space Elites, because we have an entire team of outreach specialists that do this for you. Volume. Now it comes down to the last prep. So when it comes down to the last prep, it's very simple. You want to have certain things in line to make sure that the deal goes across the board. If you're fumbling if you don't have these things in place, which I'm about to discuss in just a second, you're not going to be prepared to accept that event space. You're not going to be prepared for that deal. You can't be. For example, I'll start from the bottom. Broker, agent, realtor questions. If I'm going and seeing 20 to 40 locations a month and I don't know what to ask, think about how much of a disadvantage I'm at. In Event Space Elites, we already have all the questions ready for you, ready to go, so that all you have to do is just use them, ask the questions, and go about your business. Once you have those broker, agent, realtor questions ready, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna be able to compute your offer. We have an offer calculator in your roadmap that basically says, hey, look, listen, if answer these 4 questions based on the build out, based on the time, based on the landlord, based on the price, whatever the case may be, it's a calculator. Put in the current asking price of this location, and then what's gonna happen after that is that it's gonna spit out an offer for you in 30 seconds of what you should offer on that property. Done for you. Number 3, negotiation terms. Once you have your broker, agent, realtor questions and your offer ready, that's going to be able to enable you to get your negotiation terms. Oh, because this space looks like this, I'm offering that. Because it's been on the market for this long, I'm offering that. You can't do that if you're not prepared. You can't do that if you don't have the information. You can't do that if you're fumbling trying to do this on your own, right? Next, market comp analysis. If you have not done a market comp analysis of your area, you're gonna be crushed by somebody who has. And then last but not least, an LOI template, AKA letter of intent. Then LOI is basically what's going to sum everything together, put everything on a nice little paper, and hand it over to the landlord saying, this is my offer, this is what I need, this is my LLC, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Everything is already done, ready to go. So that LOI template is your final offer on that property. And that's how we get spaces, 72 hours. Boom, boom, boom. Yo, if you haven't already, I'm gonna drop the link for Event Space Elites in the description. Make sure y'all apply, tap in. We can get you an event space in as little as 90 days, keys in hand. Let's get it, let's go.